Hello, my name is Wamboga Teridon. I'm happy to introduce to you Centers for Her, a mobile application that links girls and women who experience violence to the various support services, including sexual reproductive health services.
With the Centers for Her app, girls and women can now access free, fast and confidential post-violence services. These include emergency shelter, police stations, legal aid, counseling, toll-free helplines, health facilities, and services like HIV and AIDS post-exposure prophylaxis, emergency family planning pills if reported within 72 hours, treatment of STDs and other injuries, among others. Centers for Her app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store. To access any of the services, for example, police stations, tap on the categories option, choose police, select a station closest to your location. This will be represented by a black pin.
Hello, my name is Wamboga Teridon. I'm happy to introduce to you Centers for Her, a mobile application that links girls and women who experience violence to the various support services, including sexual reproductive health services.
With the Centers for Her app, girls and women can now access free, fast and confidential post-violence services. These include emergency shelter, police stations, legal aid, counseling, toll-free helplines, health facilities, and services like HIV and AIDS post-exposure prophylaxis, emergency family planning pills if reported within 72 hours, treatment of STDs and other injuries, among others. Centers for Her app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store. To access any of the services, for example, police stations, tap on the categories option, choose police, select a station closest to your location. This will be represented by a black pin. You will then get directions to the center. Centers for Her is an app that women, girls, community leaders, and service providers can all use to refer survivors of violence to different service points.
Good afternoon, our lovely viewers. Welcome back to S Class. Since you have been in a break because of COVID and some other technical issues. So today on S Class, we have got two advocates, the two team leaders, one who leads TAI, another who leads Girl Master Uganda. We are going to discuss what Ministry of Education came out and say that girls, ongoing school girls who get pregnant will go back home for 1 year until when they give birth. Then after they breastfeed for 6 months, then they go back to school. But not going back to the same school, but they choose another school if at all they want. So I've brought this expert to help us digest this issue that is taking up our country, and very many people are brainstorming on social media talking about all this issue. So we'd like you to tell us, first of all, you can introduce yourself, tell us about your organization, what you do. Let's begin from there.
Thank you so much, Sam. Good afternoon, everyone out there watching us. My name is Tukahira Maureen, and I lead a team of a dozen girls and young women at Girls Must Uganda. It's a movement that believes in the art of storytelling. We believe we could bridge the confidence gap, one of the challenges that is affecting adolescent girls and young women from reaching their potential and also getting access to the opportunities out there. We are also members of the Youth Coalition for SDGs, a bilateral entity that is primarily focusing on promoting SDGs to the community grassroots. I am so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I cannot wait for this discussion.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, hi viewers. My name is Nakato Ciara and I'm the Executive Director for Trans Advocacy Initiative Uganda. It's an organization that came out that I founded, so the stigma and discrimination amongst the transgender sex workers in Uganda, to advocate for their rights, to reduce the stigma and discrimination around societies, communities, and all the perpetrators that are doing so much to remove the rights of transgender sex workers in Uganda. And I'm so privileged to be here once again, because like this is my second time to be here. I'm so excited about the topic, and we can't wait to unlearn, relearn, and learn from the topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my panelists here. So let's just jump into the discussion. What came in your mind when you saw the thing of girls should go back home for a full year, if at all they realize they're pregnant, when the pregnancy is 3 months?
First of all, Sam, I would want to say shame. Shame upon everyone who even thinks that they can deny the girl child an opportunity to be empowered, to be great, to achieve, to succeed. We've looked at education as the key to success. You know, those are some of the statements we used to talk about in primary schools, in nursery schools, but never actually gotten deep into what it actually meant. But having such headlines in our newspapers makes me want to go back to such, very calm statements from our leaders, saying, you know what, this is where we stand on an education system that is actually on tenterhooks, an education system that we are fighting so hard to revamp, to revive, to bring back, and ensure that even the future generation can be empowered, to ensure that Uganda can be empowered, can enlighten, to ensure that Africa as a whole can have or achieve the African dream. So yes, when I saw such a statement, it saddened me so much. It saddened me that we even know some of the people in these leadership positions that do this. And what are we going to do about it? Can we be able to talk, sit at the table and agree and listen to us maybe, listen to the other side, listen to what exactly happens before you put out the verdict? So yeah, bottom line, I was so saddened by that statement.
Then,
Okay, thank you so much. For that topic, it was too disheartening because it brought of positive impacts and negative impacts. But there was something interesting about the article, because I took my time to read about that article. And then there were like a scenario of boys. Boys should also be suspended for 1 year.
if at all they are in the same school.
Yes, if at all they're in the same school. And then so something triggered my mind. If at all they're not in the same school and someone is from a different school and then the girl is from another school. So I wonder how they're going to be doing it, the tracking, how is it going to be to a boy to also deserve the same punishment as, because a girl is not going to school for a year. It's not 1 year and 6 months. And then on the other hand, because we've seen very many scenarios of young girls, teenage pregnancies in school, and at one point we're advocating for them to have a leave, probably for like 6 months or even 1 year. These girls, I've had a chance to interact with some of those girls. They have told us they got distress at one point, because in some boarding school they have like morning preps. They got irritations when they are pregnant, even motherhood, parenting. Are they prepared? How are they well prepared? The bond between a mother and a child, it is not just a matter of giving birth and then going back to school, or probably coming to school when you're pregnant. You get? The environment at one point when the girl is pregnant, it's quite challenging, because you know how pregnancies can be. You could have irritations. You could not be comfortable with someone. You could not be having you could not be comfortable with a teacher or something. The preps, the lessons as well. So at one point we were like, this is a scenarios, and the only option could be giving them a break of a length of a period of like 1 year, so that they get ready. have some time to bond with the bond, because I don't think it's very proper for you to just give birth and probably go back to school.
What age of the pregnancy do you think they should be given leeway to go back home and rest?
At probably, things of pregnancy, it treats everyone differently. You may find someone is getting irritated at even 1 month of pregnancy. Someone will get irritated, getting those mental disorders, the agitation at around like 4 months of pregnancy. So it varies. So you won't give a specific period of time for those girls to be taken back home. But probably if she know and she's tested, she's pregnant, let her be given that.
Maureen, remember this, a girl who is in this school, one, she may have issues with stigma. The colleagues may be bullying her because she's pregnant. Some even may be mocking her. Some will just look at her and start laughing. She may not be feeling comfortable inside the classroom. Will she be feeling comfortable carrying this pregnancy in class and sitting for all these sessions in school?
Now, Sierra, honey, I would really want to ask you, who say these girls are vulnerable? Is pregnancy really vulnerable? Don't farmers get pregnant? Do you really think when a farmer got pregnant, she wouldn't go in her farm to farm just because she is pregnant? Haven't you met pregnant women carrying their hoes, their everything on the head?
Those are women, these are young girls.
Pregnant adolescent girls, point of correction. Pregnant adolescent girls. When they leave school, I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, when school is looked at as a safe space, it is indeed a safe space. When these girls get pregnant and they are sent back home, it's even worse. Parents look at how are they going to punish them, first of all. They look, I don't know what you people think, but that is not actually what happens. Maybe a percentage, let's say 1 or 2% of what you're talking about, maybe the well-to-do families. But how many are those? I'm stressed out, I cannot attend class. Honey, think about those women who, adolescent girls, who don't have that luxury of even education, first of all. I don't know, but we need to really be serious and look at this. When you're pregnant, you need to exercise. You don't need to sit and rest. Yes, stigma happens even to adolescent girls that are not pregnant, Sam. These are things that we need to look for solutions, not to bury it just because you think you're going to be stigmatized in school, and then you have to run back home. These are things, these are challenges, these are grievances we need to look for solutions for. That is like a stage you need to be in nursery school. When you're done, when a year is passed, what will you do? Go to top class or go to P1? But you've missed so much in nursery school. Look at that in that angle. Adolescent girls need education. If she's pregnant, what solutions can we come up with as we, the creative,
advocates,
innovative advocates, rather than sitting and listening to, I don't know, people who have looked at culture, people who are so much willing to preserve the culture, the values and the norms vis-a-vis the lives of adolescent girls and young women. So please, when you're saying all that, when you are here saying you're thanking the government for headlining something like that, I don't get it. Because you're precisely speaking for not even the 1% of adolescent girls victims of teenage pregnancies. Where do we find them? In farmers, give me examples. People in the rural areas. Let us speak from that angle. Or when she's sent back home, the hoe is the first thing they give her. I don't know what parents be thinking. Maybe the first thing is you have to dig until that pregnancy comes out, or you have to exercise to make sure you're living healthy. But those are the punishments that come. I don't want to go back to the ATS, the African Traditional Society, where there were even more severe punishments, where girls were thrown off cliffs because they were pregnant. I think we are more somehow past that, though I don't think we are yet past that if we are having these headlines running. I would tell you, someone who headlined this would easily support something like that.
Okay, on speaking of that issue, I'm a trans woman, so I'm a woman. So I know some of the issues that affect women. Because at one point, we looked on the other side of a coin as well. Okay, I don't really 100% oppose the motion. Like I said, it has some of the positive and the negative sides of the motion, what we are talking about right now. Much as Maureen has seen me I'm 100% proposing the motion, but not really. I was just giving it, okay, we looked at 50 of the girls.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that we carried out, we carried out a survey.
Yeah.
About, we had a very, teenage pregnancy was so much on the rise during the lockdown. So we took time I was under a different survey that took by MEMPRO. It's a feminist organization, so we're trying to look out on this, probably get information, the experiences, and then the challenges of these adolescent girls. I wouldn't actually want to phrase it like these pregnant girls. I don't want to say that. I'm really so sorry. I'll use it like these girls because the teenage mothers, the young mothers, you get? So we try to interact with these young mothers, and most of the ones that we really interacted with, they were what Maureen said during the ATS society when a girl was pregnant and she's around 15, the stigma, it starts from home, the torture, it comes back to the community, the society, churches, you can't really go anywhere because of the society and the stigma, and even we don't even have a rehabilitation to take those girls so that they may, for their well-being as women, as young mothers. So what we said, some of them were proposing, if they would give us a break, they were proposing, they were not my words, but according to the survey that we took under MEMPRO, that the girls, the young mothers which we interacted with, some of them were they wanted some more time because she's pregnant. She's pregnant, she's at school, she has to catch up with the work. You know how pregnancy can tend to be. Sometimes you want to throw up, the teacher is teaching, you want to run, the nausea. Some of the girls were sick.
That's very true.
Yes, that's really very true.
Some of the girls were sick. They couldn't cope up with the morning lectures. The morning sickness, the morning, and she's pregnant, so she needs time to be in bed, probably not to come out.
She needs special attention in simple terms.
Exactly. Those people really need, the young mothers need special attention. First of all, because their minds are so young, and how the community perceives them too, it is really so also disheartening. That discrimination when it comes to young mothers, and most especially at the age of probably 15, they're going to call you sorts of names. And even these girls, when you probably some nokuza olubuto olutuusa ku myezi 9 nga walufunye okuva ku mwezi gumu ebiri n'otalujjaamu when you're young, it means yes woba tolujjeemu, it means this mother baga wemba sijjeemu lubuto lwange omwana wange mwagala naye kuba kumpaamu time njagala kubeerako n'omwana wange naye n'azaala ne bamugamba ddayo mangu ku ssomero kuba alina catching up with the what, with the syllabus, bichi, such kind of things. Kati in most cases the girls bagamba nti tetufuna budde na mwana waffe n'abazadde nga tonyonera school fees zange omaze okuzaala lwaki oddayo ku ssomero. That's what they do. Otegeera kubanga tayagala kufiirwa ssente zeeri. Kati n'agamba omwana nga yakamuzaala myezi ng'esatu n'amugamba omwana mulekeewo oddeyo ku ssomero naye ng'omwana tagenda siiba naye Sam avaawo ku makya n'agenda ku ssomero baliriro n'omuwala akeera ku makya n'agenda ku ssomero nga yakazaala omwana mwezi gumu mwana myezi 2 yamuleserwa kuba nti alina okuddayo agenda tuula bibuuzo okitegeera ate ng'owhereby we are even so happy that the ministry batugambye nti in the article when she gives birth
she has 6 months.
Yes, 6 months, and she can even enroll. If she was at all in a candidate class, she can still go back and do what? And yes, her exams. I was so happy about that because in the long run, Emabega Cow, they hadn't embraced it. Twabagamba nga mwana waba amaze okuzaala lwaki addayo n'akola bibuuzo, but because they felt like being pregnant is a disgrace to the community. So a majority of the girls, the young mothers, were denied opportunities for that. So we are so thankful about that, that if you've given birth, you can still go back and do your exams regardless. And even on the other hand, the boys, they just impregnate
girls. But what if this girl has been impregnated by border rider? And he's not among the students in school. So what next? So that means the border continues to do whatever he wants.
That's why we need so much advocacy. That's why we need so much advocacy around that. It was kind of favoring to those boys in school, but then we wonder, some of the girls, I'll give you an example of sex workers. Because I started sex working at the age of, 16, 17, you know, so I was still a young girl, and I had to go to school. I came from a middle class family. My mother couldn't afford money for the university, and I had to sex work. So I'm giving an example of this girl who is 16 and she's sex working, and she's still in school.
So Maureen, for you who is saying that this girl should be given this opportunity to continue with her education, what age of the pregnancy do you think this girl should be given leave to go home and have peace or deliver, then she come back? What age do you want her to come back?
Yeah, first of all, yes, I really agree this time with you. Adolescent girls, pregnant teenagers, or girls who happen to get pregnant when it's in school, they really need that special attention. It is true, pregnancy is something delicate, and we need to have special attention. Asking me how long, government itself has had these programs for women who are in the government programs. When you're pregnant, how long do you take? When do you take leave? And when you return? We could borrow an idea from that, and we make sure they get the special attention they deserve. But are their homes safe? Are they really safe to give that special attention? Remember, we are talking about a pregnant teenager. I mean, that is 10 to 19. Between that, like your parents are looking at you as someone, as their future. They have invested in you. They have given all they have. They've even sold their land. They've sold their cattle. They've sold their property to ensure that you go to school. And then what happens? You get pregnant, not intentionally, because these things happen. Do you really think her home is the safest place to go back to? Wait, don't answer that. Also, I'm wondering, like I continued saying, we are advocates here. What are those programs that we are coming up with that are going to support these girls mentally, psychosocially, to make sure that they are ready for whatever is coming? Because whatever is coming, this is Africa, my friend. It ain't good.
But then on the other side, when it comes to what Maureen has been talking about, you know, we have these young mothers, they are so diverse. That's what I can really call it. We also have young mothers in the sex work fraternity. The girls in transactional business at around like 12, you know, they have started sex working, and probably could be for a reason. You can't judge someone for sex working. A girl can try to sex work when she wants to go to school. It's not like I woke up one morning, I felt like, I'm so excited about sex work. No, I came into sex work because I wanted money and I wanted to go to school that my parents could. A school can't know. They can't find out that she's a sex worker.
Oh yeah, they don't do
but
that.
They get to know that this girl is pregnant.
They get to
Because
find. We are talking about teenage pregnancy, regardless of the cluster that the girl is coming from. She could be even a lesbian sex worker. She could be even a lesbian girl, you know, at the age, because we've seen them at the age of like 10, she's pregnant, you know. It's a mistake. She was doing girls and then she's pregnant. Of which even sex workers, they don't know that guy. Mwana muto abadde akozesa abasajja bangi tamanyi lubuto ate abadde mu ssomero. Kati how are we going to help that girl? So we have very many interventions. So first of all, being a sex worker, it's already a crime.
In Uganda?
Yeah, in Uganda. She's pregnant. That is the second crime. So you can tell. At her home, this is where they find out she was a sex worker. Kubanga bambuza omusajja nga tamulina.
So
that's what Maureen said. Is she safe at home? Is this young girl safe at home? Okay, we are looking at this sex
That's
worker.
where we are coming to, because if you look at, if now ministry is saying that this girl should be going back home for a full year, and the parents really prepared, are they mentally well that this girl is coming back home? We need to, not to judge her, but to give her a leeway for us to guide her, to make sure she's a good parent.
Yeah.
She nurtures her kid, she manages the pregnancy, you know, that she does not terminate. Because trust me, most of the parents will tell you, come what may, you're going to abort. So how best can we, the things really
There
came
is
in
even trauma.
and they say that mothers are going to really, or the parents are going to be counseled and told the way they are going to be with these mothers.
So on that, Sam, thank you for that question. You know, it's been beating up my mind. So I'm trying to, when we see that article that came out from the Ugandan newspaper, you know, they're just giving scenarios. I'm wondering, what if that girl doesn't have a parent? She was probably living with an auntie or relative or something. And how is the situation going to be? I think we need to come up with the government should come up with a rehabilitation center for these girls, because muntu watuukira okuzaala okufuna olubuto kyabayiseemu okutuuka okuzaala kiba kingi ewaka. You know how parents can be. Let me tell you people, let me tell you viewers, you know, for Ugandans, you know how it's not easy for you to stay under your parents' roof when you're pregnant and a young girl, you know. However much your parents loves you, they like you or love you or something, no bagwo mwana asooka. At one point they will feel like this disappointment within them. So some things will never be okay. I'm telling you, things will never be okay. What Maureen said, the government, you know, in that period, rehabilitation center, people to be around to take care of her.
Maureen is saying they should stay at school, where they have no school nurses.
I gave a stand of I don't agree with the headline that just girls should be abandoned, because that's like abandonment.
Yeah.
School is looked at as a safe space, Sam. We need to mean these things. Let us not only talk about them, but let us mean them.
Yeah.
Are they really safe spaces, or are homes data? We need that kind of discussion. We weigh and gauge, but according to our stand, according to what we've talked about, what do you really think? Do you think schools are better, or should they send them?
How many schools do you have in Uganda that are capable of keeping pregnant girls at school? Yet even somebody can get malaria or typhoid and even
They just tell them in one day.
They just tell them go
They
back
waka.
home to get medication. And this girl is pregnant. They have boys' morning sicknesses. They are not mentally well.
They are always craving for different
They are always having
foodstuffs.
issues. And you want this girl to stay
You
at
only
school.
crave when you know you can't get it.
Not you're craving in school. You know it doesn't have only crave for good things, like obanjagala KFC. I've seen it, like my
They have
sister.
cooked portion beans.
Okay, now Sam.
Remember, she's supposed to eat a balanced diet.
Okay, now let me take you back to what
Please
I
drive
was
us.
talking about. You are speaking for over 2%. I don't know, we need these numbers to be straight. A pregnant adolescent girl somewhere in Kabale does not have that luxury. I'm telling you, I am being honest with
She has
you.
no option.
Even, let's leave alone the adolescent girls, pregnant women. I've never seen anyone stop going to their farm because they are pregnant. Never. Women even give birth. Hold on. They even reach a point where you're digging and the pregnancy reacts to that. Maybe your due date is there. They are never even aware of the due dates. I mean, I'm telling you how the situation has been. Unless we are having more, improvements in technology and all that, but the truth remains, we need to speak in context. We need to contextualize these issues. Omwana gogobya okuddayo ewaabwe. I've told you the punishments they give.
Yeah, of course, I see the
So
punishments
tell me,
in African
please,
society.
what is the difference? Tell me really.
So there's no difference between the
and
school.
discrimination has happened. Not
You mean
only-
she rather stays at school and going back home?
Somehow, if you're there,
Yet
it has
I
already
feel like
happened.
home is the best
Sam,
place for this
if it
girl.
has already happened to you, you're out there, it has already happened. And again, take I'm taking you back to the conversation we've had, or the background we've laid on the current, on the situation.
But Sam should give us an example of how it could be.
On the situations, on how pregnant girls are treated. If it has happened to you, before anything else, we need programs that need to support these girls.
Yeah.
That is the truth. But also as a young girl, what do you need to do? How do you get to make the right decisions? How do you get to persevere, be resilient? Because at the end of it all, wherever you're going, it has turned out that there is no safety. There is no safety. It's up to you. You, the adolescent girl out there. That has already happened. Shit, it has happened. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to persevere as the programs we come up with, the programs the civil society comes up with? There are consortiums, there are alliances that keep talking about this. So I want to believe they've been doing so much. There is a great work that they've done in these schools to provide support to these girls. Otherwise, mindset change to parents, it is a Hail Mary. And you know that. It is a real Hail Mary. A parent, it is so hard to change the mindset of an African parent.
Very hard, because even you know how
where we know change can happen.
That's very true what Mourinho said. Of course, if you to our dear viewers, now we are discussing the policy that Minister of Education came out and said that the school ongoing pregnant girls should be going back home for a full year after realizing that they are pregnant. If the pregnancy is at 3 months, then they go back for 6 months, give birth, then they breastfeed and make sure they have bond with their kids for 6 months still, then they will go back home. And this girl will be given leeway to change a school if she wants. And the school where she has gone, the school should follow up, the school, previous school where this girl is coming from, to know why she has been chased away.
Hold, why or to support? I need to
support.
Know.
In the article it says to support.
Or they just need to
They just have to dismiss someone.
Dismiss someone, she's pregnant, so you can have them.
They send it's like sending a file that this
to where
if at Maureen got get pregnant today in this school A, school A, and Maureen changes a school after giving birth, the school B where she has gone goes back where Maureen's to school A to follow up why Maureen is coming to school B.
Then she's pregnant.
Then school B realized that Maureen was told to go back home to give birth. That's why she's in school A, because she can't go back to school A because of stigma with her fellow.
Wherever you go, my dear.
But the government should the government is forgetting that schools are also businesses at one point. Because when you, how am I going to follow up? I can go. Some parents can afford international schools. We've seen very many curriculum. Some international schools bakola Cambridge. They don't do UNEB for Uganda.
Let us come back to our level.
You get.
Who does?
Anyway, me, I will always speak for that adolescent girl. You're very far. Who cannot add their voice?
That's very true, Maureen.
But has no voice.
Me, I'm looking at this point where you tell this girl now to stay at school. Then, when this time of her going back home reaches where the pregnancy is already grown, can be easily identified, then is the parent really going to welcome this daughter of hers?
That is the question.
That's what the job is. Much work needs to be done.
Really, our parents. Me, I even sometimes feel like if this girl is told to go back home for a full year, I feel like this now the electoral of telling her out of school you no longer fit into the society of school. You're supposed now to be in the society.
The
stigma in school. The fellow students themselves.
We are not going to center stigma on only teenage pregnancies. Clearly, we've seen more worse stigma and discrimination.
Even to the grown-up people,
yes,
if they see pregnant, of course that's one.
How are we going to solve that issue? In not only for that, but how are we going to solve the issue of stigma and discrimination in the different fields? How are we going to solve something like that? Maybe then we can help change the minds of the young ones in school, because the truth is, and I want to quote one of the community leaders we had an engagement with, and she was talking about how when these girls keep in school, it would look like it's the new norm For a girl, it's okay for you to get pregnant and continue school. And for us, she was pretty convinced that no way we cannot let these girls in school because it will look like it's okay for
at
a
one
girl
point
to
they
get
even
pregnant.
feel like agenda kuwane bana agenda bono
Yes,
n'abayaba wala
to spoil the
spoil the other
but
girls.
pregnancy is not contagious, it's not a virus.
But it's
right
still
now,
it's a
that's
two-way.
going to-
Even if you tell this girl to go back home, still
Mm.
it's going to look like it's something normal for you to get pregnant, and you are told to go back home.
But that's
After
the-
giving birth, you come back and
Damn
continue with the
if I
education.
do,
So there's no any
damn
big change.
if I don't. So the thing remains, Sam. What do you rather?
So it's better.
No.
So it's better for them to join family planning.
Okay, we've advocated for family
It's better
planning
for
as
them to
well.
join
End
family
of the
planning.
conversation.
If you know your girl or is sexually active, then join her own family planning.
We can't join them. Let me tell you, Sam. You
Absolutely.
tewali muzadde agenda kugamba. Sam, I'm giving you an example. I'm just giving a live example because like abantu batulaba ate bagala twagala twogere ku kiriwo.
Yeah.
Ate kitubonyabonya because tubadde nga kyogerako ebbanga. It even told you, I'm so happy about that topic. Kati Sam obeera ng'olina muwalawo. You're a father, taina mama. Because you've seen girls who stay with only their fathers. Nga yakuze ne taata we. Otegeera n'abeera ng'afunye olubuto. Kati ogenda tandikirawo okutwala omwana wo ku family planning. That is the information gap, the SRHR information gap that we are having among its parents. Because parents have failed to sit their children down and tell them about the SRHR information and
They don't discuss sex.
They don't.
Another
Ogenda
thing.
okwekanga ng'omwana afunye olubuto.
One of the reasons why abstinence is no longer an effective intervention is one. Do we get time to really sit like we are here today and talk about everything from scratch? Or do we just have the message abstain? You wouldn't just tell me that. I would want to
It's not a
know
word.
the reason. I would want to know exactly
Why you should
what
abstain.
is making you even talk about abstinence. And we can only do that if we can have real conversations in schools. In not only
How will
going
even they
to
get
school
family planning
and-
when they are being chased away in
Hold up.
youth centers?
Not only going to schools and having 30-minute talks. Yeah? Get a full, and I'm talking to the advocates.
Definitely.
Get program yourself, not only for the benefits of your whatever you're doing, but benefiting the children. Sit down, narrate. For us here at Girls Must, we believe in the art of storytelling. How are you bringing out that story? Our grandmothers long ago, they used to sit us down and tell us.
So you're driving
these
us back to the
stories.
80s.
And tell us these stories that I don't even think existed. But somehow they would create vivid images of these stories. And it would get to your head. I've never forgotten that. We stand the ground and say, narrate this, make the children, the adolescents understand why you're talking about abstinence. We cannot say we are going away from abstinence, but how do we package the abstinence messages?
I don't know if there's stories of Sarah, how Sarah got pregnant and still working. And those who are still in school will really tell us whether those stories are still working. Like Maureen is saying, because stories, sometimes I feel like they are now all new to
Yes,
I know.
No, we cannot change the art.
Right,
We
change the art of
change
telling
But we
stories.
still relate
Tell
around,
the story.
we drive around the same
My story
areas.
okay, story through the community.
cannot
So whoever is
discount
watching this
that.
man, this show has been powered by the Youth Network, which is located in China Fish Coast. We believe in delivering free services Monday up to Friday. So you can look for us on social media. My S-Class airs on social media, Facebook and YouTube. Look for us on S-Class 256 Facebook and S-Class 256 on YouTube. And then also you can look for our website, which is sclass.online. So in that you can easily follow our discussions and what we always post. So today on my show here, we are about to wind up. I have Kingsley, an advocate, and ED, or team leader of
Thai.
Then Maureen, team leader of Girl Must Uganda, which is driving social media at a very
Girls
speed.
Must.
Oh, by the
So-
way, now that we're speaking about social media, I know we are winding up. We did not talk about the available interventions or
Yeah.
the existing interventions.
And even the interventions that we have, how are we going to strengthen them?
Yes, in policy
That's
formulation.
that's where we are coming to right now. Okay, but you can chip in
Let me
out from
just
there.
dive in. We are having some, we are marking some achievements, I want to say, in, of course, the policy frameworks. We cannot go away from that. That is what drives the programs. That is what drives communication. So we are having some
This is
achievements.
why we are working. This is why we are
Yes,
here.
and I would want to read some I landed on recently. I think Parliament, this is a main goal, as well as sensitizing the communities against stigma and discrimination.
Yeah.
And the other prayer was for government to strengthen the enforcement of laws against defilement, child marriage, and other forms of child sexual abuse and exploitation, as well as engaging in sensitizing of parents on their roles on upbringing of children. And the other was for government to provide a fast track, and for government to fast track the passing and adoption of the National School Health Policy to enable every learner to access health services, information, knowledge, and skills. And the last, I think, was for government to provide adequate resources to institutions of the police, local councils, and probation officers to enable them perform their roles in protecting girls against teenage pregnancies and early child marriages. This is a document, a motion that was passed in Parliament last week, courtesy and with support, I think, from the
Still a bill.
Not Brides Alliance, yes, Girls Not Brides National Alliance here in Uganda. And I'm thinking, I mean, kudos to them. This is really great.
It's very great.
There are many bills right now in Parliament,
There are
but
many
we
bills,
hope
including the
this
homosexuality
can be
bill.
prioritized.
Our Parliament is changing,
This
so
can
I
be
think
this can be prioritized.
Maybe.
It can be pushed. We don't need to see it on the shelf. We need to have it pushed so that these can actually be actualized. And well, we thank them for continuing this campaign to ensure that every girl is safe in whatever community they are in.
That's very true. Since we are now winding up, what will be your part short, and what would be your recommendation about the topic, and how best can we save a girl child?
The topic that we're discussing about, we need to find the cause.
Definitely.
Why is teenage pregnancy on the rise? Do we have to talk about this? And probably, this is something that wouldn't actually be talking about in Parliament about teenage pregnancy as its role, because it has its roles as well. And then we need to find the root cause. Why are teenage pregnancy happening? Why are girls so much getting pregnant at this point of time? This is the gap where the government is losing it all, and start drawing policies, unfavorable policies to the girls, take them to school, enroll, and stuff like that. But why are these girls getting pregnant? It's because of the society that it is unfavorable. The environment is not safe. It is so unfavorable. The society is full of stigma and discrimination, and there is no way we're going to beat teenage pregnancy when we still have discrimination, lack of information gap in SRHR, information and knowledge. Because it starts back from you parents, even you ministers, MPs. I guess some of you are parents. Don't you think it starts with you to talk to your kids?
Victims.
Yes, you're just amending these laws and policies, but you're also parents. It's not going to probably be on you. It can happen to your friend, So we need to advocate government. They need to have policies that strengthen our interventions when it comes to teenage pregnancies, and when it comes to stigma and discrimination, because I wouldn't relate it so much. It could be a straight girl. It could be a sex worker. It could be a lesbian. They are all girls. So what is the way forward towards that? The government needs to engage. Because you're telling me to go and get the family planning methods when even the health facilities are not favorable. Omwana atuuka n'abagamba nga neeko n'amugamba bana njagala prep bankutte, she's raped. Ne baganda omwana ne bamugoberawo ku gundi ku ddwaliro because she's a sex worker. So ngolowooza tugenda, oh my god, I'm so emotional, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
So bad.
Maureen, what would be your party shots with?
Well, it was really and there is a call out there. Please, the young people, show us what you got. Participate in this. These are opportunities for you to network, for you to develop your ideas, for you to, achieve your dreams in one way or the other. It can be one or the other, right? So please participate. You can check it out on the SDGs live page, and also on all the UNDP pages and UN pages. Also, don't forget to check us out on Girls Must Uganda. Our Facebook page is Girls Must Uganda. Our Our
Twitter?
Twitter is at Girls Must Uganda, Instagram Girls Must Uganda, LinkedIn Girls
Email?
Must Uganda. I'm not going to give my email here, but also our website www.girlsmustuganda.org. We love you so much. I am really humbled to be here. I need to always come here. Please invite me again.
So some majority they have been doing adverts, so my producer will really tell us how much they need to pay us.
Oh my God.
So we had Kingsley from Thai and also Maureen from Girls Must Uganda and SDG champion. So thank you so much for watching this class. Remember, this class powers on social media and it's been powered by Good Youth Network, which tells you that you should come and get different services and China Uganda French Hospital. They are for free, have different services, so you need to come at least you can come for a visit. It's a hospital, you can come and visit.
By the way, Sam, I'm sorry, we've just opened up the Neko's Diary, the sex workers diary. We've just launched it for all sex workers out there. You don't have to, just come to me, just inbox me, just come to Sam and ask Sierra. They'll let me know. But we have a Neko's Diary that we've just launched for all sex workers out there. This is your home. Thai is your home for most especially trans sex workers, even female sex workers as well. Even male. Even male sex workers. So the diary is for all sex workers, male sex workers, trans sex workers, and even female sex workers, and even the refugee sex workers. So all sex workers out there, feel free to contact me or feel free to inbox anything. You don't have to, write something that they'll, the stigma and discrimination.
So just because if you don't call it a day, it won't.
I know.
So that has been Sierra from Thai, and he's telling me they have
the Neko's Diary.
Yeah. Remember, we have done a show on sex work, and you can look for it on our YouTube.
Yeah, please.
And get to know how sex work
operate.
They operate in Uganda and how hard it is to be a sex worker in Uganda. So thank you so much for watching that. Thank you for the producer.
Thank you.
And everyone who is watching us.
Bye
See you.
bye.
Hello, my name is Wamboga Teridon. I'm happy to introduce to you Centers for Her, a mobile application that links girls and women who experience violence to the various support services, including sexual reproductive health services.
With the Centers for Her app, girls and women can now access free, fast and confidential post-violence services. These include emergency shelter, police stations, legal aid, counseling, toll-free helplines, health facilities, and services like HIV and AIDS post-exposure prophylaxis, emergency family planning pills if reported within 72 hours, treatment of STDs and other injuries, among others. Centers for Her app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store. To access any of the services, for example, police stations, tap on the categories option, choose police, select a station closest to your location. This will be represented by a black pin. You will then get directions to the center. Centers for Her is an app that women, girls, community leaders, and service providers can all use to refer survivors of violence to different service points.
Hello, my name is Wamboga Teridon. I'm happy to introduce to you Centers for Her, a mobile application that links girls and women who experience violence to the various support services, including sexual reproductive health services.
With the Centers for Her app, girls and women can now access free, fast and confidential post-violence services. These include emergency shelter, police stations, legal aid,